Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportBikeTrackGear.com. Today we're going to break down the all-new Alpinestars TechAir 7X airbag vest. Okay, the retail of this, as of the time we're shooting the video, is $999.95. Please understand we don't update videos for pricing changes. Only the product itself has been completely redesigned. We have been waiting for this one, right? This is the real successor to the extremely successful TechAir Race airbag system. That's a system that Max and I both used for a number of seasons. I still use it today. He's now riding in a different brand, but several deployments from him in that TechAir Race, right? Learning how to race, learning how to track ride, racing at Moto America. It worked great. I had one deployment. It worked fantastic. Loved using it. When Alpinestars initially came out with the TechAir 10, I had some knowledge of that in advance of it. We talked about what they were doing, and I kind of shared with them my thoughts, which were they should have continued to make the TechAir Race in parallel with the 10 because that unit was just so good and so bulletproof. They chose not to do it, so we had a little hole there, right, where we didn't have the race style vest available, and we only had the TechAir 10. As you know, some of the 10s have been great. Others people have had issues with. That's a bummer. Things happen when you try to push technology. But focusing on this unit itself, right? What they did here is they've used the tried, tested, and proven electronics that were found in the TechAir Race and the TechAir 5. Both of those have shown to hold up, work as promised, right? And to be easily serviceable. Great units, both of them. This one is designed to be used as this is kind of a hybrid between, let's say, the TechAir Race, which was meant to integrate into a race suit and or a jacket that could accept it, and the TechAir 5, which was just a standalone vest. It wouldn't zip into anything. You would just wear it and then put the garment over it. It had to be an airbag-ready garment. So what they've done here is they have added basically a zipper flap, and they did it really well because everything's super low profile. So if you want to wear this as a standalone vest, and I think Tom can cut away real quick and show Max wearing it as a standalone vest.
Gotta make sure fucking looking jacked and shit.
We have some footage of him in here wearing this underneath a different brand's airbag compatible suit. You can use this standalone under any garment that is airbag compatible, that can manage a deployment, has enough space in there or enough stretch panels to manage a deployment. Any of the TechAir Race compatible suits that are out there, this thing is fully integratable the same way the Race was. It's going to zip and Velcro right in place and work just like the other one did. It even accepts the LED harness that was on the left sleeve. Okay, we'll show you that as we go through this video. I'm going to pull out one of our old TechAir Race suits. I'll toss this thing in there and show you that. So a lot of flexibility with this, and I love the way they did it. When you see the imagery of Max wearing this too, you'll notice that when you compare this to like the TechAir 5, this is way more low profile than the 5, so you're going to have an easier time getting it underneath an airbag compatible garment where it does not zip and or Velcro in. Right? Important to note that in itself is a real improvement. Before we go too much farther with the details, right, I want to cover one very important thing. When you initially receive this, or if you ever go on an airplane with this, right, you're going to need to plug in or unplug the battery. To access that, you just pull on that cord down here, lift up right here, it pulls this panel off. And it actually comes with a little tag that makes mention of what I'm talking about right now. So when you first get it, you go to charge it, you go to turn it on, it's not going to. That's because the battery is disconnected. If this thing is going to be shipped on an airplane, you have to disconnect the battery. If it's going to go in your trailer or something, you're just going to haul it over the road, no worries there, right? Make sure it's turned off and you're good to go. But if it's going to go on an airplane, the battery has to be disconnected. That plug is literally right here. When you open this panel, you're going to find that to be disconnected. Your first step is going to be to connect that and then charge the unit itself. While we're here, let's give you a nice kind of close-up look of what's happening inside there. And then we can go over some of the features and benefits of this. Dual deployment. Okay, this is going to offer 2 individual deployments. There are 2 canisters. That is going to be throughout the entire range of sizes. With the previous version, the TechAir Race, the extra large would only get a single deployment. It took both canisters, right? They've changed that for this one. This one, you get 2 deployments with every single unit. Also, user serviceable repack. You don't have to send this away to Alpinestars. You'll get a total of 4 deployments before you need to send it in and have the airbag bladder or cushion itself replaced. Okay, so 4 total deployments. The replacement canisters are sold in pairs. So what you would probably want to do is initially, I think you're good to go without replacement canisters in the toolbox. 2 deployments is quite a bit for a weekend. If you get a deployment and you like to be ready with spares, I would then order a repack kit. It's going to give you 2 more canisters. After you've deployed it a total of 4 times, the unit will need to be sent out to Torrance, California for Alpinestars to inspect and replace the airbag bladder in it itself. Let's go ahead and put this cover back on. One thing you'll note with the cover, it takes a little pressure to put this back on to get all the clips to pop in, like so. The back protector that is fully integrated. Just had a comment on our Facebook, and I'll kind of hit that here. As you get through different sizes of the vest, I don't have the breakdown, but there are going to be different length protectors. For people that are a little shorter and you're concerned about, how bulky it's going to be at the bottom, you can see that the density of the back protector, and this back protector is certified to CE level 1, standalone on its own without the airbag deploying, okay? The lowest portion of the back protector, this is very flexible, pretty low profile. You get extended coverage down there in an impact, and you see the airbag is all behind it as well. But if you're a little to the shorter side, this is going to tuck inside your suit, and I don't think comfort is going to be an issue whatsoever. LED panel. The activation switch, if you will, and the LED panel are found right here in this Velcro strap that spans across the chest. Once this one cycles through its diagnostic mode, you're going to see we're left with a blinking green light that would normally just be a green light. The reason for that is we deployed this on camera. You're going to see that later on in this video to give you an idea of what the overall coverage of it looks like. Effectively, the coverage of the unit is going to be anywhere where you see this light colored airbag vest, you have full coverage. You can see it extends very far down the back, far down the torso, right? Covers the chest, the back, the sides, the shoulders, spans over the collarbones. Tremendous amount of coverage with this unit. To turn it off, all you have to do is disengage the Velcro flap like that. What I would do with my TechAir Race when I traveled, I would always just kind of fold it over, right? Zip it all back up in the suit, and then travel like that so it can't accidentally, kind of make contact and turn itself back on. This integrates, and this is something they improved over the TechAir Race too, this integrates with the TechAir app. I have this one Bluetooth. I want to go ahead and zoom in there, Tom. It's going to show you right here. We have only 1 deployment left. It's going to show you our battery percentage, our status, and also which riding mode we're in. We're currently in race. You're also able to go ahead and switch this to street mode, settings, friend request, ride mode. Super simple. You'll do your firmware updates and stuff through this. The app works solid, and if you don't have a suit where you have the LED indicators on the arm, you like to make sure before you go out that you're good to go, right? Couple of ways you can do that. You can unzip the suit, and if you can look down and see that, or have somebody look at it for you, or what I've been doing, Max has been in the RST airbag suits the last couple of years. They have an app like the Alpinestars app, and before he goes out on track for a session, what I'll do is I'll have my phone Bluetooth to it. I just bring up the app, make sure we're connected, check his battery life, make sure the status is good, it's green, good to go. Do the same thing here with this TechAir 7X, and you'll know each time before you go out on track that you are good to go. Attaching this to a TechAir Race suit. Couple of things you're going to do. Thing one is you'll remove this little zipper panel on both sides, like so. Obviously, don't discard those. I would save them in case you end up using this with another suit that is not TechAir Race compatible. These will be your zip to suit attachment points in the breast of the suit. And then you have all the same Velcro attachments right here on the upper arm, shoulder, back here at the base of the neck. And they did a good job too, like the material they're using to cover up the Velcro is nice and soft, super comfortable, very low profile. So if you're not going to take advantage of integrating this into a TechAir Race compatible suit, you'll be able to use this standalone, no problem. Now, if you have a TechAir Race compatible suit and you have the LED panel in the arm and you want to use that, makes sense that you would want to do that. To access the plug for that, let's take your access panel off the back. Got to kind of fish around up here in the top a little bit until you find your gray connector. It's kind of tucked away in there a little bit. There's the length of the harness. What you'll do from this point, and we'll articulate this with an actual demonstration here in just a few minutes, is you can go ahead and grab a TechAir Race compatible suit with a harness. You're going to pass the harness through this slot right here on the back and then tuck it in like so. Make your connection here, right? And once you have this then installed in the race suit, you'll be able to utilize that LED harness. Charging. The charging port for this one, it uses USB-C. The cable is included with it. The port is right there, right in the front. This is a pretty big improvement as well over the TechAir Race. Every time I go to charge the TechAir Race, I'm still using mine, and I still take one of Max's as a backup. You have to, unzip a bunch of shit and get in there to get behind it. That's where the port was. It's not the end of the world, but I can tell you right now, this is a big step forward, and it's going to be a whole lot easier to charge. Something else that I noticed that they've done with this one that's different. I've already got these zippers undone here. This back pad, right? Let me see if I can pull this out. Probably going to regret this. Probably going to be hard to put back in. They put a big foam spacer back here that's heavily perforated. A couple of reasons for it. One of the biggest reasons is what this is going to do is it's going to create a pocket of air in between your back and the airbag bladder, much more so than just this, okay? You also have a little bit of a spacer fabric here. What they're trying to do is they're trying to keep the rider cooler and more comfortable by not having that layer very close to your skin. I suspect this is going to be pretty effective. There is a note on there too to not put anything in this pocket except for this item itself. Makes sense. You don't want something in between you and the airbag that is not designed to be there that could cause issues if in fact you end up having a deployment. So before we go ahead and grab the TechAir Race compatible suit, what we have here is we have a really easy to use package. I think they've executed as expected with this one because they're using proven bits from the previous generation units that have shown to be very effective. We have a lot of experience with those. I love that product. We kept ordering TechAir Race right until there was none available. Then they found some inventory. We even brought that back in because it just worked so good. It was so effective. I'm really excited to see this back. We're going to have a brand new crop of TechAir Race compatible suits from Alpinestars introduced in the fall, and there are still many that are on the market today from Alpinestars themselves. Even though they got away from the race compatible units a little bit, you know, you'll have brands like Tai Chi, right, that have TechAir Race compatible. There's some custom brands out there I know that we're doing integrations with the TechAir Race suit. It's a proven product. This is a big step forward on that.
3, 2.
Okay, we were set up for the deployment, and then we wanted to give you kind of a 360 after the fact. And what I can tell you that we learned with this one is this one might, you know, deflate faster than the other models did. I could actually hear it hissing a little bit.
You could smell it too.
Yeah, you can smell it, whatever's in that canister, because it's chemical, right? It's a pyrotechnic. It deflates really quick. So the representation of how much it actually inflates, you're going to need to watch the deployment part for that, and then understand by the time Tom got the cameras ready to go, so we could spin around and give you a sense for how much it inflated. We were a little too little and a little too late. So one thing that we've learned here, right, is that if you happen to have, say you're racing in Super Sport and you have a little tip over, and your bag pops, but you're good to go and you can carry on, this one's going to do a great job with that. This one's going to be ready to ride very, very quickly. There's a lot of coverage area with this, and we'll be able to get some frames out of the deployment portion of this video that we'll go back and show you guys, right? But look at all this coverage all down the chest,
Shoulder too.
in the shoulder, all the way down the back.
Tailbone.
That's airbag right here. This thing was inflated all the way down this back protector. Ton of coverage. Deflates really quickly. You know, Max had made a couple of posts on social media. These came out today, right? And we're getting the video shot. We've had our stock here for a few days. We just finally got to this. One person's comment right away was, no, this needs to be zipped into a race suit. Negative. It can be zipped into a TechAir compatible race suit, or, as we're very clearly displaying right now, this thing can be used as a standalone vest under any race suit or jacket that will allow for airbag use as well. Okay, so with the TechAir 7X, you are able to use it a number of different ways, all of which we're covering in this video. It is compatible and able to be zipped into any of the suits from Alpinestars or another manufacturer that are TechAir Race compatible. All the same attachment points, okay? It is also designed, as we've clearly displayed, right? We deployed it on Max, and all you were wearing was that and your shirt and pants.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. 100%.
Standalone vest. Now, he's got on an RST custom suit, right? This is actually an airbag suit.
Right now it has an airbag in it.
In it, and underneath it, this is one he's been riding in this year. We've been waiting on his new suits to come in. This is one that RST made for another rider. They gave it to us for display purposes because it's sweet.
And I'm displaying it.
He's just been displaying it for the last couple of weekends riding it, all right? So he has on the TechAir 7X underneath this to show that, you know, you can also use it under another suit that is able to manage an airbag deployment. Clearly this one is, because it's an airbag-ready suit.
It's also a little inflated still.
Slightly, yeah, because we did deploy it. You can see it's a little puffy.
Yep, 10 minutes ago. But
in those areas. And it takes a minute for it to go down completely. You got to have a little pressure on it for all the air to evacuate.
Pressure from the suit's helping right now, don't
Yeah,
no
you can
doubt
feel
about
it kind of deflating a little bit.
Yeah,
Just give it a quick 360. We just want to display that, you know, this can be used as a universal unit under another suit that is airbag ready. I just switched size and it confused you, didn't it?
Yeah.
When I swapped over. When we come back, we're going to have this vest off of Max. We're going to take it apart, give you a closer look from the inside out, and I'm also going to show you how it installs in a TechAir Race compatible suit. What are you doing, dude?
Having fun.
All right. Okay, now we're going to show you a TechAir Race unit that we still have, right? I still take this as like a backup. When we go to the track, we're going to actually grab one of these 7s now and phase out the TechAir Race units that we've used, you know, and kind of have that as a backup. Because what's nice about this one is he would be able to use that, you know, under the suits that he's racing in right now, because it's universal. go ahead and pull this TechAir Race out first. Battery life and battery care. Those are both big deals. These lithium batteries, you want to make sure that they never, ever fully discharge, okay? There is, as we understand on that unit, there can be a slight draw. If you go a super extended period, like over 6 months, without using it, you want to pull it out, throw it on a charger, charge it up. What I like to do is before each race weekend, right, with the suits that we're using now or when we use the Alpinestars stuff, I would always fully charge Max's suit, my suit if I'm going to ride too, before we go to the track. The battery life on all of these units is such that it's 20 hours or north of 20 hours of actual riding time. Okay, so it's more than enough to get you through a track weekend, well in excess of that, especially if you have a full charge. Charge it before you go. Make sure you've got it turned off in between sessions, right, and certainly at night. And you're going to have more than enough battery to get through it. And remember, if you're going to have a very extended period of storage in excess of 6 months, do 2 things. Thing 1, make sure you put it away with a full charge. Thing number 2, just pull it out. If it's going to be over 6 months, charge it up to 100%, and then go ahead and stow it again. If there's ever any issues with the battery, that is a item that has to be serviced directly at Alpinestars. That's not going to be available through us like the repack canisters. So here is our TechAir Race unit. Here is our, and same size kit, right? Here is our TechAir 7X. You can see we've really extended the coverage here. We've extended the airbag coverage further down. We've extended the coverage of the built-in back protector. The contour of this protector is improved a little bit over the hard shell that was used on the TechAir Race. There's your charging port for the TechAir Race on the back. There's your plug-in on the Race for the harness. As previously noted, Tom's going to get some B-roll on this, but it's right there, man. Right on the front. When you got this zipped in your suit, it's going to be super easy to get to it and recharge a step up from TechAir Race. And then, of course, the TechAir Race, it could not be used standalone. This could only be used with a TechAir Race compatible garment, you know, where this can be used by itself or integrated into a TechAir Race garment. And like you can even see the coverage area here. I'm just trying to get these pretty close. You know, we probably picked up a little bit here towards the bottom of the ribs, a little bit down the side of the arms. You know, they've changed the design. There's kind of a little sleeve here. Max said it's very stretchy. It wasn't obstructive at all to help hold it in place. Like comparing that to the TechAir 5 to get this under a garment, right? Having this little sleeve there is going to make it much easier to get inside of your race suit and or your jacket than the TechAir 5 in comparison. Okay, so this is going to be, it's more expensive, but it's definitely going to be a superior unit to that for sure. Put this thing to the side now. How do we install if we want to use this in a TechAir Race garment? First thing we need to do is open this panel. Probably turn this thing off. We don't want to double deploy today, man. I don't think that would happen, but nevertheless. Let's come over to our TechAir Race suit. Let's go ahead and grab all these little Velcro patches, right? These little covers. Make sure you save these because things change. You could end up going from a TechAir Race compatible unit to a non-race compatible but airbag compatible, and you might need these patches to cover up the Velcro so you can use it in that other garment without tearing up your liner, because the gritty portion of the Velcro is what is actually left with the unit itself. Okay, so now let's take a look at our harness here. And I'll tell you, the first thing that I see is I'm looking at the harness length. Try and give you guys a close look. And this is going to be with an older gen suit, okay? It was meant to plug in here. Well, now we need to plug in up here at the top. So clearly going to have to make a minor adjustment there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the harness. I'm going to push it through the back. There's like a little loop on the inside of the suit that routes through. You're going to want to slide that through there. Okay, now, and no, I haven't done this before. I'm making all this shit up as we go, right now. So loosen that from its mounting points. Get enough slack with it. Couple of ways you can do it. You know, you could route this over like that. You could maybe even poke a little hole in your liner in the back. I mean, you know, kind of do what makes sense for you. There is what I would suggest. You know, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of pull it over the top, and you all will get the idea. Okay, now come to your suit, and let's slide that in here. Let's get it inside of the airbag. Tom's going to do the best he can to show you this. This will make a lot more sense when you actually have your unit and your suit in your hands. Boom. She is plugged in, man. Let's get our cover. Like so. Make sure that is installed all the way on both sides. Okay, now let's go ahead and get the unit inside the suit. Take your time when you line these Velcro patches up. The better job you do with this, the more comfortable ultimately the unit is going to be when it's inside of the suit. There's the one on the arm. And we've got the one up here on the shoulder. Like so. And when I do this, I like to do both arms. Then I will do the one across the back. Then I will do the zippers. Realize right now we're not doing a great job of showing you this. This is just, it's hard to show on camera. But it's pretty basic. You get your suit in your hands. It's going to make sense to you real quick. Okay, got our harness back here. Make sure that's under the Velcro flap. Like so. Attach the base of the neck to the flap on the suit. Then we've got our zippers. She is zipped in, like so. Now, test our connection on that LED harness. Let's go ahead and turn the unit on. And look at that. It's going through its diagnostic. It's going to let us know with the blinking light, we are down to 1 charge. My suit is a Racing Absolute, the V1 version of that, where the airbag installs behind the liner. Super awesome. Max raced in those suits for a season too and really liked them. This airbag will also install in that suit and go right behind that liner. It's a clean way to do it. I hope that's something that in the fall they bring back into the mix, where they have the ability to put the airbag on the back side of the liner. Just really increases comfort overall. A lot of information here, you know, and probably bounced around a little bit. ADD, man. If you have any questions, leave those in the comment section of this video. I do my best to answer all those myself, and especially when a video is pretty new or it's very, you know, it's a high-tech item like this airbag, I like to be there for you guys to help guide you through. You can always reach out to our support team. You'll get Max and you know, other people in the sales department. They'll work with you too. We've given them some training on this stuff. The TechAir 10, there were some bumps in the road. Worked great for some people. Other people had trouble with it. It's a bummer. I love what they did here. You know, sometimes you got to go a little bit backwards to go forwards. With this, they took what they've learned, right? Took what we've already used, put it together in a very nice package that I think is going to serve people really well, reminiscent of the good old TechAir Race, just better.